Welcome, Zubair. Zubair, you are working as a Microsoft Dynamics consultant right now.
My objective when I was looking for job in overseas is basically to involve in end-to-end implementations. Explore more on this Dynamics AX ERP to get more experience. And another thing is basically is also to earn more. Yes.
Yeah. So, and then come to the points. Then, what is your backgrounds to think about working overseas?
Yeah.
Is there
So
any
yes.
you get? I mean, in Dynamics community, as you know, is around the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yes.
So what is the backgrounds until you
So
decide to?
yeah, basically when I was working in well, the partner in Pakistan, a lot of my work is just remotely actually, and is also not end-to-end implementation. So my objective when I was looking for job in overseas is basically to involve in end-to-end implementations. So for that part, I see that it will be better for me to get exposure when I go overseas. So at that time, I just researched which are the countries which have high demand basically for Dynamics AX and basically for the ERP. So the countries basically I search is Australia, New Zealand that time having high demand, and then Malaysia, Singapore. Yes, these are the countries basically I already minded, and maybe also another country UAE because that is very close to Pakistan. And yeah, the culture there is very close to Pakistan. Yeah, even in Malaysia the culture is very Islamic, so it's the same as what we have used to have in Pakistan. So yes, I even apply for the New Zealand, but yes, there's no chance to get there. But yes, then I get a job basically from the from Malaysian company, which is the good partner systems, I think during 2012. So that's basically clicked me to go to overseas to explore more on this Dynamics AX ERP to get more experience. And another thing is basically is also to earn more. Yes, we actually
That's for
do
sure.
job
Yeah.
actually, yes, to get higher also in the pay. So that's the thing actually also motivate me to actually go to overseas. Yeah, to get higher.
So how you apply the job in Malaysia? Is there any agencies or you just apply by yourself?
Yes. Actually, this is nowadays. Actually, that our profile is on the internet, like on LinkedIn. So what actually I did from the start of my career when I was in Masik Global, I actually built my LinkedIn profile very well. So I invest a lot, and then I do a lot of certifications also on the Microsoft Dynamics X ERP, which is relevant to my field, like production certification, trade and logistics. But I invest a lot of time on my LinkedIn profile, and basically how actually I also applied through my LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn you get the job sections, and then you can also apply from the LinkedIn. But the first job from system which I get is basically I was hunted by the recruiter. So it's basically a recruiter contacted me because yeah, even though I applied a lot of companies overseas, but this specific job is basically I was actually contacted by the recruiter of Arma. It's not a third party
Okay.
recruiter; is a some recruiter, and then they are searching for production consultant basically, and this is how actually they come to my profile, because on my profile I also mention about my production, the work which I did on ERP, and basically specifically for the ERP. So this is how actually nowadays actually the recruiters are doing their searching. So my advice for all those newcomers in this field and whoever is the junior actually who want to be actually accelerate in the IT field is to build your LinkedIn profile very professional way, and put very specific details of what you are doing, so that if any of the recruiter worldwide, because all our profiles are actually worldwide, any recruiter can access, even though you are working in Pakistan, the recruiter from Malaysia, Singapore, they can still search you. Yeah, and I think at that time, because when I come here around 2012, Yes, a lot of companies in Malaysia and Singapore, they are looking for the talents from Pakistan and India because of the short of demand. So this is how actually I was contacted for my first job in Malaysia.
So, refer to your story then. Uh, so, meaning after you, I mean, during your college, you are already have a little bit informations about this world for
Yeah.
business consultants, and then come to your second jobs, which is really focusing on Microsoft Dynamics,
Yes.
then become your starting point to to work on this path. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
So on top of that, uh, is there anything that you prepare when you start decided to work overseas? Is there any
Yes,
like
that's yeah, very challenging for me because you know that even in Pakistan, I never go to any other states, never go to any other city, even in Pakistan. So I was actually my hometown is in Karachi. So you know we have other cities like Islamabad, Lahore, and many cities in Pakistan. But I never travel there. So you know that I am very, you can say, introverts, and then yes, just actually stay basically in my hometown city, Karachi. So there's no exposure, and then there I was never actually fly on the plane that time when I was moving to Malaysia. So a lot of things I need to prepare basically, a lot of things because you know that is my starting time in the career. So you know that not enough money also because yes, even though our Watu system, yes, they give me the flight, they give me the hotel for 1 week, but yes, you still need to prepare a lot of your expenses when you are going overseas. And that time because I was single also, and then yes, I need to actually, so the preparation part was actually when I was moving, it was very tough part actually for me because I was never travel overseas before that, and this is my first time, so I need to actually plan for my money. Actually, I when I come in Malaysia, I don't have enough money, so it's very limited money for 1 month, you can say. Yeah, and then I just totally depend on my first pay,
salary?
that the first salary will come, and then yeah, I will. And that time actually my salary was also very low, on the very low end, because I was, because my objective that time is to just, it's not
Go
salary.
overseas. Yeah.
Yeah, to go overseas to get the exposure. This is just frank with you because I was very junior in this ERP system, so I'm just on the junior level, and you know it's very difficult to get a job when you are on a junior level and then you want to go to overseas. It's very difficult. If you talk about nowadays, it's very difficult to get from the junior and then you get a position in the overseas countries. Yes, that's correct.
When you arrive in Malaysia, do you have in your mind that okay, if something happens in Malaysia, I will go back to Pakistan, or in your mind, okay, die I have to go through in
Yeah.
Malaysia or any other countries?
Yes. So basically, for my part, because I am not from a very high income family, so there is no second chance that I will go back. There is no. Even though I was a struggle, there is a homesickness on first week when I was arrived. Very bad homesickness. But I always encourage myself because this is my objective. This is actually I always wanted to go overseas and to get exposure as much as possible. So during that first week, yes, I need to change my mind because this is the thing which I also learned from a lot of my colleagues, which basically come. You know, actually, whenever you go overseas, you get homesick quite easily. And I see a lot of people because of this homesickness, they go back to their country. They say no, even though this is their dream to go overseas, but you need to be very focused at that time. Yes, this die, you need to do this job. You need to actually modify your things. You need to modify your life. But the good part with me when I was moved to Malaysia is that I actually searched for my actually room, and I was searching for Pakistani colleagues so that actually I get some local experience and then some local persons here who actually come also from Pakistan. So that's the good part. Whenever you go overseas, you look for your own country people. So the first residence where actually I stay is basically is fully occupied by Pakistanis. So I was not aware when I was in Pakistan. Even when I was moving to Malaysia, I bring a lot of tin foods because I not know that I can get Pakistani food in Malaysia because this is my first time. But when I come to Malaysia, yes, I see a lot of Pakistani food
Pakistani
here.
restaurant.
Yes, yes, this is yeah. So I just bring a lot of things, but yeah, those are useless because it's very easy to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything you can get in Malaysia, and that where actually I stay, that is the hub for Pakistanis. There's a lot of restaurants, so that's a good part actually for me when I was start to move into the new country. I live with my own Pakistani people. I live with near to the restaurants which are selling Pakistani foods. So that are the thing which keep me motivating actually to work here for the long period of time.
So yeah, so when you arrive in Malaysia and then you aware that so actually a lot of people from Pakistan already go earlier than you, right?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people. Yes. So, yes, I was actually searching for those Pakistani people on my Facebook, whether I can get any of the Pakistani people who was working already working here to get to know about what is the room rental, so I can actually plan for my expenses. What is the room rental here because I am a single, so I just yes. So basically, you need to know about the budget, how much is on the food you need to expend. So the good part in Malaysia is basically because of the food price is cheaper compared with the European countries. If you go Europe, if you go Australia, New Zealand, yes, you need to cook yourself. There is no way that you can go outside. But the good part here in Malaysia, yes, because of the restaurants which are in terms of pricing is low compared with other countries. So that is also good part that you can experience the food, yes, in Malaysia and on a very cheap price.
Okay, so Zubair, uh, when you feel that okay, right now I'm stable, yeah, from your start arrive in Malaysia until you are feeling comfortable. So how long it take?
Actually, the first year was very challenging because this end-to-end implementation was very new for me. All the while I was doing support, mostly on the support work. So when you move to overseas and then they just give you the project, okay, now you are the one you need to manage yourself this project. So that's the challenging part. So I think it takes me around 1 year. Yes, you can say it
1 year to
around 1 year to just actually to adapt with this industry because this industry here is very different what I used to do in Pakistan. The work there is very limited. When I come here, yes, the work is very high. You need to interact with the customers. You need to interact face to face with the customers, and that's the challenging part for me. I never did this part in Pakistan. And then as a ERP analyst, you need to actually train the users. So sometimes you need to train maybe 20 users. You need to train 30 users. So you are in the conference room with the 30 persons. I never have such experience in my life before. So
so
that's the challenging.
you should have a lot of what is that knowledge about the industry itself, right? Even
Yes, 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 that's correct. You need to know about a lot of industries and you need to know about your product. So initial days actually I faced this challenge because yes, the key users, of the users who are using the systems, they ask you some challenging questions which need some background. Yes, so to adapt to this kind of things, it takes me 1 year, at least 1 year to actually adapt to this kind of work.
so
And it was very tough basically. You need to work more and then you need to even work on the weekend to actually go into that level. Yeah, that's correct.
so so right now you already like in the good positions, yeah. So do you have any others some things that you want to achieve at the moment?
Actually, at the moment, what basically I'm looking into advancement in my career is to go into something like a project management.
Okay, so in the management
In the
side.
near future, yes. In the management, yes. Maybe after 5 years, yes. Maybe yes, you can actually try. We can actually try for the project management. Yes. That's my thing for the future.
Yeah. So meaning you will stay longer in Malaysia, or thinking to move another countries?
At the moment, yes, my family is very adapted to Malaysia culture, so very used to the Malaysian life, to the Malaysian foods. So because now to think about going into another country is very challenging part, because now you are not single, you have your family also, so you need to consider about your family. So because you are getting a stable job here in Malaysia, so I think yes, for me is better to stay here, because you already know about the culture here, you already invested a lot of time, and now this is the time to get a return. So it's better to get more advancement here in Malaysia, rather than you going into another country where you need to also first localize to the culture of that country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So last things, Zubair. Yeah. So based on your experience, your struggling during the past work. Yeah. So do you have any advice for someone who want to work overseas, especially?
Okay. So my advice is basically you always, if you are new on computer science, you just graduated from, let's say from the university, and now you have some experience in your country, like in Pakistan. So now, if you need to go to overseas, you first need to research which fields have high demand, and then whether your fields is high demand on which country. So these things you need to plan early, and then you need to actually make your profile very good. You need to have some certifications on your field, some very depth knowledge on your fields, which is basically which is required in overseas countries. So that's the thing you need to actually, whenever you need to go to overseas, you need to plan what kind of jobs are there in the overseas, because nowadays our IT world is changing. There's new fields coming, like the big data, the BI, the new these are the new things which are keep coming. Yeah, so you need to actually search. If you are in the universities, I think it's better to search about what is having high demand in overseas. And nowadays we are very much connected on the internet. You can easily know the number of jobs for a specific subject in the overseas country. So yeah, you need to be plan early. And then financially, yes, you need to also plan. Whenever you go overseas, you need to actually have some background information from the locals from your own countries who are staying there. You need to get some knowledge. I think you can easily reach them by Facebook, by LinkedIn, whoever is actually working in the overseas countries, to know some information ahead before you go to the overseas.
So, sorry, I get my last question. Another last
Yeah.
question.
Oh, okay.
So in terms of uh, the work's experience that you get, is there any like life learnings that you feel okay? If I still working in Pakistan, maybe I cannot get this life experience compared than I working overseas. Yeah, I mean like salary is sure. Yeah, that one for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, but other than that, what is the life? I mean, learnings that you feel okay. So I think I'm in the right path. That
Yeah.
my life is okay. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people like working overseas, they just spend for like traveling or some other things. Yeah, but
Yeah.
is there any life learnings that you feel that you can? Yeah, this is a good part of your life.
Yeah. So basically, for my case, the good life learning is to actually experience different countries. So in our this field, actually, whenever actually I work with the companies, my most of my projects are in Singapore, most of in China, in even in Japan, and even in Australia. Yes, to get all of these countries experience and to get to know about their culture, because whenever you go there, you need to interact with the users, and then you can get actually some of the localization things there. So that's what actually I feel that I can only get when I come to Malaysia, because I think this kind of things is very limited in Pakistan. In Pakistan, mostly if you get projects, it's just Middle East projects. But in Malaysia, I think the exposure which I get in the overseas countries, especially in China, China, the language, there's a language barriers, and then you need to actually overcome all those barriers to interact with the users and to be successful in the project. So that's the learning which actually I think when I moved to Malaysia, then only actually I get that kind of the things to travel to overseas countries, and you travel a lot to overseas countries during the project. So that's the thing actually. That's the good learning actually for me.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Zubair, for sharing your experience. Is very good for anyone that maybe have a plan to start working overseas. Yeah, and I think should be the same to other countries like similar like Indonesia maybe or another countries that want to think about having career in the other countries. Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks to you for selecting me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No problem. Yeah.
And
So.
because of these questions, I go to my past also. So that's the thing actually. You actually also know about your past, and then yeah, that's the good part actually. So yeah, thanks for selecting me for this. Yeah.
So, YouTubers, yeah, all the YouTube audience, thank you so much for joining our interview. Yeah, actually, it's not interview. We just sharing each other, and hopefully this is good for you guys to get more informations and anything. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Keep like, subscribe, and watching until the video end. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.